Let's bring in Peter Mathews now. He's a professor of political science at Cypress College, California. He joins us live from Los Angeles. Welcome to the programme. So whatever Donald Trump says or what charges are levelled against him, it doesn't seem to affect his core support base, does it? Why is that?
His core support base are just very loyal for the last several years, including the first election, and they're true believers. They believe he can do no wrong and that everything he's saying is the truth. When it's just the opposite. I mean, he's saying the election in 2020 was stolen, and then he instigates people to go out there and start an insurrection in the Capitol. So people think that he's a man, the people that support him think that he's a man of his word and that he's going to go out and do what he thinks is right. And they're true believers. Blind faith is what they have. No reason or rhyme or any kind of rationality behind their thinking. That's the problem.
And how do his Republican rivals then balance not wanting to alienate Trump supporters with trying to make their own mark and be distinctive?
You would think they would do that. And there are only very few who are working in that direction. Most of them are just falling in line. They're very much afraid of Trump's voters voting against them or even doing worse things, because some of these people are unhinged and they're not very rational. And the moderate Republicans who could actually speak up and stand up for the right thing and for their principles and bring their party back to sanity, they're just not doing it. And it's very dangerous for the United States democracy, for a democratic republic, which requires two political parties to be balanced and to adhere to the rule of law and to be willing to lose. When they lose, they step down, let the other party take its place, and vice versa. This is the first time in our history that a person who ran for presidency, who lost, clearly lost, even appealed that loss to several courts. Many of them were his own judges that he picked in those courts. They ruled against him and said, Mr. Trump, you lost the election, it's over. He won't accept that. We need two parties that are rational, led by rational people, and Donald Trump is not one of them at this point.
Now, you mentioned two parties there. I mean, how will Democrats deal with this Trump juggernaut, as it were? Do they have a plan?
I think to get on it, because it's coming up so quickly. The primary elections begin just a few months from now, and there are court trials that Trump is going to be facing. He's being indicted a couple of times. He'll be in trial in May for sure. He'll be in trial in March, and this is going to just bring the country into a place that it's never been before. This is so dangerous, and Democrats, and not just Democrats, but everyone in government who believes in the legitimacy of the U.S. government, which I certainly do, and believes in democracy and the rule of law, must unite now to be ready to take action in the right way to ensure that the law is followed and is implemented and not challenged, and we don't have a civil war, for example, that could break out if we don't get this under control at this point. So the government should be ready. The people who are the American people should be ready for this, to make sure that we let the renegades who don't believe that in the rule of law know that they cannot prevail, that this country is going to its roots, which was based on the rule of law principle and the Constitution.
You mentioned the American people there. I mean, Trump supporters make a lot of noise, but what about the broader voters? How do they see this going?
Yes, that's the thing. The Trump supporters are a minority. They're actually a majority in the Republican Party. They're about 56, 58% of the Republican Party that are Trump supporters. But in the American population as a whole, among all the American voters, they're a minority. They're only about 30% of the voting population. But the rest of the people, the 70%, have been a quiet majority. They haven't been that organized and firm about needing to stand up against the Trump onslaught, against the rule of law. The people are against the rule of law. The ones who are for the rule of law have to be more vocal. They have to be intense about it and to believe in what they're doing and show it. And they have to go out on the street and protest peacefully and let their leaders know that let the government run the course of the legal system should run its course. Trump should be not in any way given any special treatment at all. As in some people would say, he's already gotten special treatment. He needs to be just like any other person in America who breaks the law, if he broke the law, to be tried and to be convicted. So we have to make sure the silent majority, so to speak, or the not so silent majority, it's coming a bit awake now, should actually coalesce to protect American democracy.
Peter Mathews, thanks very much indeed for joining us here on Al Jazeera.
My pleasure. Thank you.